Welcome back to Drive Your Journey. I'm your host, Fred Arnold. I'm with Nicole Stinson. Nicole Stinson, My Truth.
Yes.
The founder of that concept.
I love it.
Yeah,
it's everybody's truth, actually, not just my
Absolutely.
truth.
We have some great guests today.
Yes, we do. We have Alex Schwartz joining us, Jenny Striplin, and Dawn Crone.
Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome. You know, the conversation, we talked about a topic on
Yes,
My Truth and
yes.
kind of getting out there. And we talked about auto response. Tell me your experience with auto response in the supermarket.
Yes, so part of that project, when I started documenting all this human behavior, I would go to the grocery store and I'd walk through to the cashier. You know, they always ask you, did you find everything you need? Most people, even if you didn't, when you don't find something, do you say yes or no?
Usually say,
You're in a hurry. You know they're not really
Thank
good.
you, I'm
yeah.
out.
No, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Too busy.
You know, I didn't find the butter I wanted, but you know, I didn't really want the butter anyway. Well, going through the line, he's just going, and I said, no, not really, and he like stops, like he's just like, you know, a dog in headlights.
He hasn't heard that before.
He's like, what? I'm like, you really don't care, do you? And he's like, I go, don't worry, I'm just doing this test to see really what. He goes, not really. He goes, they just tell me to say that. I go, what would you do if I said no? He goes, I have no idea. It's not like I'm going to order it for you. I'm like, I know that. High five, and I left the store.
Hey, at least it's authentic and honest,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But these auto things that happen in our mind, they just come out, and we don't really.
We don't mean it.
No.
Jenny, your experience with that.
Just like we talked about, with you walk through a line or you walk through school and you see a mom you haven't seen in a while, and you go up to her and say, hey, good to see you, welcome back, how's everything? Immediately she's like, great, summer was wonderful. When maybe she went through the most difficult experience she's ever gone through, she could quickly say to me, you know what, Jenny, it's been tough, I'm gonna reach out to you today. We have a date the next couple of days, we go to coffee, we connect. And we're doing the same thing in the same amount of time. But we just exposed ourselves, and we were able to put ourselves out there for just that quick instant and establish a connection.
You know, being vulnerable is something that sometimes we're afraid to do, and we're told not to do that.
Exactly.
And I think this almost is part of being more vulnerable, honest, and authentic.
Unlearn everything you've already ever learned is
unlearn.
basically how you sum
Unlearn,
it up.
for sure.
Unlearn everything we've ever learned.
Yeah, Dawn?
Same thing. When you see somebody and they say, how are you? They're not really genuinely asking. Most people don't have the time and don't want to take the time to hear what you have to say and what you are going through, positive or negative. We don't tend to share anything with anybody, and we just keep it all inside.
Have you ever asked that question and had somebody tell you this like total long story, and you're like, yeah, gotta.
I'm like,
That was me at the gym the other
You're like,
day.
why did I ask that question?
I'm like, okay.
Right?
And then I feel like
really
saying,
want to know.
I really care, but can I meet with you afterwards, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Alex, younger generations, are they learning how to communicate that in your travels, in the great work you're doing?
It's a hard question. You know, everywhere that I've gone is different from each other. So I would say yes and no. I would say that there's a lot of parenting plays a role. Your environment plays a role. Your teachers play a role. If those are the types of etiquette that you're learning within those environments, then you're more likely to showcase those authentic, true traits. But if you're not, then you're more likely to kind of be thinking, what's next? Oh, it's good seeing you, gotta go. Or sorry, but I don't really mean that I'm sorry.
I love saying I'm not sorry.
Right, exactly.
And people look at you like, what?
And so one of the sayings, right, is like, sorry, not sorry.
I don't say I'm sorry, I say I'm not sorry.
Oh, see, now, I think sorry is kind of a sorry word.
Yeah.
Personally,
Right.
I apologize, right? It's a more sophisticated word of saying I'm sorry. But what's a more powerful way that we can ask questions or approach people? Like, Jenny, what was the most amazing thing you did this summer?
Yeah, the most amazing thing I did was travel to a camp for kids who struggle with basic communication. As I've shared before, I've struggled myself with my speech. I either stutter or I block, and that's also something that's gone on with our son. And to be away at a camp for these kids to communicate.
Feel
But
safe.
communicating isn't just with our words. It's allowing them that space. If they can't get their sounds out, and you are having a conversation, what else can they do? They can put up their hand. They can take the time to own that space in order to get what they want to say across. And to me, to be in that environment for a week with these most beautiful, authentic people was just transformative.
And that's the one thing I just asked you. How was your summer? Tell me something amazing about your summer. And I think it's about the questions we ask.
Absolutely.
You know, and I think you have to make a conscious decision, myself included, that I really want to know how you're doing, Alex. But asking how you're doing is not going to get a response that's going to be open and authentic. But saying, hey, what are you up to nowadays? You know.
Yeah, we say the difference is literally this slight. How was your day today compared to what was the best part of your day?
Yeah.
So for a child,
Use
we
more
are
words.
affirming
So
that you've had a great day. So we're already assuming that your day was great. Now they're more likely to open a conversation and
In a
say,
positive manner.
well, I didn't really have a great day and here's why. Or, oh my gosh, I went to gym today and I met my new best friend.
Yeah.
You know, it's an easier way because you're already starting out positive, you reframed it. So we call that reframing questions. If we can think about that beforehand, we're more likely to have a conversation that is fulfilling and authentic than not.
All of it comes around being authentic and being
Compassionate.
Yeah, being compassionate.
Empathetic.
Yeah. I want to jump to a new topic, and actually, I want to ask you about this. I was in the supermarket talking about stories, and I just posted that I was with my daughter in France. I'll probably get in trouble because I didn't get permission to tell you that I was with my daughter in France.
We all saw it already.
And she exactly, and the lady came to me and said, "Thank you for posting that." And I said, "Oh, you're welcome." And she started crying, and just about my age. And she goes, "I lost my father, and my dream was to go to Paris with my father, but it was a gift that you gave me because it reminded me of." So let's talk about that. Let's talk about being open and authentic and giving people real feedback and real inspiration. You know, what's one way we could do that through social media? Yeah, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I can just personally say that every day I post one. I mean, that's what I'm known for, is posting one inspirational quote or one inspiring story on my social feed, whether that's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. And when I walk around the community, they know me as that positive, inspirational person. And or they'll walk up to me and say, you know, I really needed that today. And that's how I want to be remembered.
Yeah.
So it's a really special, special feeling.
Yeah. Don, your thoughts on when you see inspiration versus desperation?
I tend to be in the desperation. So actually, when I read Nicole's inspirations,
Right.
they
It lifts you
normally-
up.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. Tell me about when you read it. What does it trigger in you?
You know, it kind of just takes me out of where I am, and it just, as long as you read every word, you'll go that way. You'll go that way. If it's not in front of you, you're just going to continue to sit where you are. You have to find the positive. You've got to find the good to bring yourself out of it. That's what I think.
Absolutely. Let's talk about being then fully alive. It's a topic we talked about over
Yes.
coffee.
Yes.
What
Those
do you
two
mean by
words, I
fully
mean,
alive?
when I hear them, when I say them, it just gives me chills all over.
Same. It makes me want to cry.
Yes.
And I didn't know why until you asked me the other day at coffee, what does that mean? And I just I froze again with those questions.
She did, and she usually has
I'm like,
plenty
wow.
to say.
Right.
It's frightening.
It's such a good feeling. I
It's
don't
scary.
know. And he brought me to a place where we can be fully alive, but we can be more fully alive tomorrow and the next day. It doesn't mean that we can't get better and improve. But fully alive to me means being surrounded by people in a non-judgmental way, in a safe place with love, with grace, with compassion, and making sure we give the message that it's okay to not be okay, that we're imperfectly perfect. And I think that, I think it could change the world. I think it could change mental health. I think that if we all look at ourselves when we're speaking to people, that we're looking in a mirror, if we don't like what we see, we have to, if we talk that way, I think it's going to change the way we express ourselves and the message that we deliver.
Yeah. Alex, fully alive. What's that mean to you?
You know, it's so funny. We were just having this conversation, and I was the first person to look at everybody and say, it's extremely powerful, and I just don't even know how to answer it. It could possibly bring tears to my eyes just thinking about it. But I have a slogan for my own personal business, which is building positive change makers around the world. That's my goal.
Love it.
And so when I feel fully alive is knowing that I'm bringing forth access and information, experiences and opportunities to those that are just as deserving as everybody else.
Equal access, equal
Equal
opportunity,
access.
equal
Yeah.
compassion, equal love. Yeah, all that.
Everything. I mean,
Yeah.
there's so many people that they just don't know how to take the step forward to get there. They might not have that mentor.
Yeah.
They might not have that person at home. And these are all things that I, as an individual, might be thinking about just because of my background, but these are just things that we all could be thinking about.
Yeah. You know, when you think of a little child, you think of this spirit. You know, the child has the most loving spirit you could ever imagine. And as they grow up, it seems like they're fed information
Yeah.
that their mind now takes over
course.
and reduces that spirit. And Jenny, when I share that with you, the spirit, I almost think the more that your spirit starts to come out as an adult and you get rid of all the nonsense, maybe at an older age when you go through a life-changing event. You know, I went through a life-changing event and I had to learn how to live out of my spirit and get out of my mind. And so when I say living from your spirit after many years of being an adult, what does that mean to you?
Oh, that just means embracing that entire experience, meaning from the time you were that brand new, just impressionable, tiny little baby, all the way to where you are as you're taking this next step into a new life that you don't even know what it is. It's encapsulating all of that. But that is so important because early attachment is where we know what we can fully experience.
Absolutely.
When a baby cries and you respond to them, you're showing, you know what, it's okay to show pain. It's okay to be distressed because I'm going to be here for you. It's when we get older and we start to think, I can only be accepted when I smile. I can only be accepted if I'm not complaining. My dad said to me as a little boy, as an example, you better stop crying right now or I'll give you something to cry about. Why should we expect that man as an adult to be able to get inside of himself and experience that pain? I just feel like it's just really the encapsulation of our entire being, our entire spirit.
Yeah, Dawn, it almost seems like as we're this pure spirit and then we all of a sudden get in our head and get older and older and older, and sometimes when we have that life-changing event, whatever that is, we lose a loved one, perhaps our kids move away and go off to college, perhaps you have a breakup or divorce, and that disappointment causes a shift in you. And I think you can go one of two ways. You can go more into your head and into negative and anger and so forth, or you make a shift into going more into your spirit. When I say that, how does that resonate with you?
I tend to feel that I try to find the positive in every aspect. No matter what it is, I will always find the positive. And people say, you have quite the knack of finding the positive in it, even in something so horrible, because everything has a positive. And as I've been married and divorced 3 times and raised 3 children periodically as a single mother, I have to find the positive to get through every
Well, you know
day
what? You're not
and the
giving up,
next
are
day.
you? 3 times? Certainly you're not a quitter.
Coming, yeah, exactly.
Because you keep trying.
There we go.
So that's the positive in it, right?
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's always something positive.
Any
Yeah.
final comments on being fully alive and living from your spirit?
Just live your truth and be authentic and be caring and move forward with grace.
Yeah. Any final thoughts?
I just want to say thank you. Thank you for sharing this time with me. Thank you for sharing your stories with me. I think one of the hardest things that we can do is share our stories.
Yeah.
Be
You have to
vulnerable.
always remember, we walk out every day and we have that opportunity. I tell people, to the world, we are just the one person.
Right.
But that one person that you make eye contact with and
Might
you
be
give
what
that
they need.
smile, you can actually change the course of their day and in terms changing their lives.
Thank you. Thanks everybody for coming.
Thank you, Fred.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I hope you enjoyed this segment of Drive Your Journey. If you'd like to be on our show or like to interview amazing or have an amazing story to share like these ladies, please email me, Fred@fredarnold.com. Until we speak to each other again, make it a great day.